Hello, Ben Woodruff here with another Falconry video. Today's video, I am in the low elevation riparian forests of northern Utah. I'm here among maple trees, like these sugar maples and big leaf maples, and also scrub oak and lots of trees in this area. Low elevation in Utah, we get these deciduous trees. When we get higher up, we get all of our conifers, pine trees, fir trees, things like that. But where I'm at today, I'm looking for Cooper's hawks. I've already seen one dive bombing a raven, and I've made calls and gotten them to come out, but I could not see from my shots if they were an adult or a juvenile. This time of year, Cooper's hawks, I've been to this canyon many times. There's a pair that has been here for years, but they change which nests they use. In years past, they've nested right next to the trail. It's neat that I've already seen one, but we're going to find out if I can find an actual nest today or not. But either way, it's great to already see them and to be out here in these wonderful, lush, deciduous forests in the middle of the deserts of northern Utah. See what we can find. Got a turkey vulture there and a couple ravens. That's the vulture. Raven squawking. There's the turkey vulture. If you listen, you can hear all kinds of songbirds everywhere. And you can hear a raven squawking in the background too. But I can hear at least 5 different species of birds all chirping. And that is a very good indication of a healthy ecosystem. An ecosystem where we should also find predators. Okay, here we have some western sage. This stuff smells amazing. But the reason why it smells is actually a very interesting reason. It's to discourage herbivores from eating it. This has an antibacterial element to it that will kill the good bacteria in your body. So in the body of strict herbivores, the bacteria used to break down plants, because plant material, you eat this stuff, you eat grass and stuff, there's not much nutrition here. And so the stomach and the gastrointestinal system of a herbivore like an elk or deer or a moose, they have this gastrointestinal bacteria that breaks this down into something and ferments it into something usable and eatable. Well, that bacteria, without that, a herbivore can have a full belly and die of starvation. This sage right here kills that bacteria, and so very few animals will eat much of this, because the smell of sage, which is a beautiful smell, is a warning to herbivores. Do not eat me, or I will unintentionally, but directly kill the bacteria in your body, and that body is then going to potentially starve to death. So there are species like camels and stuff that can eat this almost exclusively, but most things like horses, if they eat this extensively, they're going to get sick, and they might even starve to death, even with food in their belly. Talk to this raven. It's gonna be mad when he finds out it's a human. This right here is choke cherry wood. Now you can eat the cherries off of them, they're not very good, but choke cherry wood itself does look very much like cherry wood. Choke cherry wood is used by indigenous peoples here in the New World for making weapons, atlatls, spears, arrows. If you have a nice straight shaft like that, you can make yourself a nice spear. But choke cherry, it's a very carvable wood. It's very hard when it is dried out, and it is a great addition to this forest. Showed signs of a healthy ecosystem. It's also something that provides a lot of nectar to a lot of the pollinators in the area, like the bees and the hummingbirds. So I'm here in the forest, and I'm finding something we find pretty commonly in our yards at home, dandelions. Now dandelions Beautiful flowers, beautiful flowers. But the greens we can actually eat. And find a clean one here. Dandelion greens are edible. You just eat the leaves. Good for you. A lot of nutritional value. And a little bitter, but good to eat. Now, these dandelions right here are in bloom. And they are providing a food source in the form that can eventually be turned into honey for bees. Not just honeybees. There's many species of bees in this canyon. And in fact, somebody up on the hill has placed special hives, like man-made hives for non-honeybees to promote some of these other species of bees in this canyon. And I hope to get some footage of some of those bees as well. But it's really kind of neat to see just this whole circle here, because pollination is what gets things going. You think about things like plants. Plants cannot move, so they cannot interbreed with each other. And to have genetic diversity takes pollination. And that happens when a bee goes down to a plant, and in this transition, it grabs some of that pollen, takes it to another plant that it's on, and in this way, the plants can spread, can move, and can keep a genetic diversity that otherwise two plants growing right next to each other aren't going to get. So this is kind of what keeps the genetic diversity flowing outside in the natural world, and it's neat that we see something so little accomplishing this. These little guys, people call them pillbugs. There's an oceanic version. It's bigger than my hand. It's called isopods. But these little guys are prehistoric. Totally harmless too. This is stinging nettle. Stinging nettle, the bottom of those leaves have razor sharp hypodermic needles that will inject the venom into you and sting you. This is young enough that it's not hurting me when I'm touching the tips, but stinging nettle has an instant pain. There's another plant around here, poison ivy. If it gets you, it takes about 20 minutes to absorb into your skin. This stuff stings you directly and instantaneously, but ironically, it's also an edible food if you know how to process it properly. But if you ever touch it, just avoid those stingers on the bottom that are covering it. All over the bottom, hypodermic needles. The top is just fine and safe to touch. Stinging nettle. Oh shoot, listen, I got mom. Hold on. Okay, I got mom, and I think I got the nest. I think the nest is right here. We'll see, but this is mom. This is sound we want. That is mom being aggressive. I found her because she just dove on a raven. A raven just came out. And I think I know where the nest is. I think the nest, check this out. I'm right here by the trail. Look how close we are to the trail. Just had a couple guys go past on horses. I think the nest is right here. We're gonna check it out and see. That close to people. If not, I'm gonna go check on the other side of the river. This might be last year's nest. This is it. She just about hit me. She just about took my head off. There we go. There we go. I'm right underneath what I think the nest is. Gotta be right by the nest. Right by the nest. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, as you can hear, probably, the cacking, that's Cooper's hawk. Found the nest. It's great. I wouldn't have even seen her. That's her. I knew this area. I knew that they nested in this area and have in years past. She was on this side of the canyon, and she came out to chase a raven. And I heard her cacking. I kept an eye, and I'm like, you know what? I look up there. I see a nest. It looked like an old nest. Wasn't. It's the current nest. So this is great. Now here's the weird thing. We're barely into June, a couple days into June. It's kind of late for a Cooper's hawk. We've had a very late winter in Utah this year. We've had, this canyon's a nutty canyon anyways. What they hunt in this canyon, it seems to be later. Normally, if I have falconer friends wanting to pull a Cooper's hawk, I say come to this canyon because they are the latest to hatch. I think she's still on eggs. Honestly, looking in there, she is dive bombing me aggressively, so I wanted to get out of there, not stress her out too much and not draw too much attention to that nest. But the point is, found her, found the nest, and she's defending it. So maybe I'll come back here in another 3 weeks and see if there's babies to film. But it's a great success. Cooper's hawk are my favorite hawk species to fly. It's really exciting to see them in the wild and have them so vocal where they're normally so mysterious. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And as always, happy hawking.